Hello. Well, as you can see, I'm back home again now, and it's obviously a lot warmer here by the side of Lake Atitlan. And today I'm here on this day, 13 Can, to talk with you about the Trecena of Kame, which we'll go into tomorrow. So, what does this hold in store for us? Well, Kame, the Nawal of transformation, the Nawal of ancestors, the Nawal of death as well. And, you know, I've been going through the cycle of Tresenas, and as I may have said before, it's an interesting thing to kind of like weave them together and see where we're going and see what's going on. And Kame, if we take it back to the Popol Vuh, we'd see that the Lords Kame were the Lords of Death, the ones that the hero twins went down to challenge in order to bring the light back to the world. And so the Lords of Death dwell in Xibalba. Xibalba is the place of fears, the place of frights. And so we can see this transformative aspect of Kame happening through facing our fears. So it is unsurprising that the Trecena of Kame may bring those things to the surface. And of course, the Trecena of Kame is going to begin on one Kame, which might be something new. Now, this may be, for instance, a new fear. It might be a new way to approach something that has been kind of like you've been trying to avoid for a while. Because this is what happens with Kame. Kame, or the way that I see it, is kind of like our fears can often be in front of us, and our ancestors are there to support us through it. But sometimes, we dodge them. Sometimes we kind of like try and get around them, we try to avoid them. Well, one Kame might bring up a new way of approaching them. It may also bring up a new or a re-emergence of something like that. And so, as I said before, it's up to us to engage with our ancestors, possibly with ancestral wisdom, coming from this day of 13 Can, to approach our fears in a new way, to transform in a new way, because that's what the One is about. Now, the One can also be seen as needing some assistance. It's that little seed that needs some fertilizer, that little seed that needs some encouragement. And so this is kind of like saying, right, okay, it might be time for you to finally face something which has been a fear for a while. It might be kind of like making a resurgence, a renewal, or a new appearance in your life. And it's a great day to kind of like search around and see what new resources that you might have, see what new fertilizer you might have for that seed, maybe even see who else might be able to help. So maybe you know somebody else who's gone through that sort of thing who can help you. So one Kame is a great day to begin to overcome a fear that you might be carrying so that you can transform spiritually, as it were. From one Kame, we're then going to go into Tz'i. So Tz'i will be the day of solstice. And what else can Tz'i tell us? Well, Kech, the Nawal of the wilderness, the Nawal of leadership. Kech, the Nawal of strength. And the number 2, which can very often represent duality. So it might bring out duality in leadership. Maybe we see what we might call the light side and the dark side of the leaders of our world. It's also on this day of solstice, which I think is that we will be experiencing in the northern hemisphere, will be about going from the darkness and into the light. It's about the return of the light on this day of duality, on this day to Kech. And so it's about using this natural world, using our connection to the wilderness, to understand the balance between the light and the dark, because that's what the two can be about. But really I see it as kind of like the emergence from a period of darkness and into the light. And Kech brings us the strength to do it in this transformative Trecena of Kame. So it's kind of like maybe the Tz'i is going to bring you the strength to put the spotlight on your fears, as it were, those fears that come up through Kame, and say, hey, hang on, what is there really to fear in this? If you're connected with nature, if you're able to go out there, get into the natural world, and feel the strength of the natural world supporting you, helping you through, And maybe this can help you away from, like, let's say, seeing your fears through a dark filter and seeing and bringing them into the light so that they can be identified. And once they're identified, they can be overcome, or at least we got a better idea about them. From Tijax, we're then going into Tz'ikin. So where else might we find that light? Well, the number 3 suggests that we go inside. And Anil is about ripening. It's about coming into our yellowness, coming into our goldenness, coming into our wholeness in a way. And so Tz'ikin might also be this day where you might find that kind of like it's not very cheery around you, because the 3 could represent blockages or obstructions in the outer world. And it's saying you've got to look for your inner light. You've got to look for this ripeness within you, because it's maybe difficult to see if we were looking there. Now, when we look inside, when we engage with that 3, this can bring out a huge amount of creativity. And so it's the creativity that takes us to our ripeness. And again, sometimes, when we're dealing with those fears, particularly if they're like an external thing, it's like, right, okay, what ripening, what of the last few Trecenas, what ripeness can you bring, what goldenness can you bring within you in order to help you to overcome your fears? From Tz'ikin, we're going into 4 Toch. So Toch, the day of payment, Toch, the Nawal of giving. This combined with the number 4 representing the physical plane of existence. And so this is a great day to make a physical payment in one way or another. Perhaps it might be a physical payment to Odin, for example, to help support the people of San Juan and San Pablo. However you choose to do it, it's a great day to make a physical act in order to repay what might need to be repaid, in order to redress the balance. And, whilst Toch is associated with debts, I feel that there's also something regarding kind of paying it forward. Here you are in this Trecena of Kame, kind of like trying to get over fears and maybe needing a little bit of help. Well, Toch can be like putting your energy into the piggy bank, as it were, so that you can move forward, so that like you are, kind of like creating what might be seen as a positive energy to go forward with, to support your journey through your service to others, through your service to your community, to your service to the physical world. And this is about going out and doing something physical, whether it's litter picking, whether it's kind of like actually physically going and helping out somewhere. 4 Toch could be very much about that. From 4 Toch, we're then going into 5 Tz'i. So Tz'i, the Nawal of faith, loyalty, of justice, of law. And the number 5 representing work. And sometimes this is about putting our energy into it. And once again, kind of like we're going to have to be kind of trusting to go through this Trecena where we're facing our fears, where we're getting over stuff, where we are being presented with this opportunity to transform, but being asked to put our work into it. It's like put your work, put your energy into your faith in it, your faith in yourself. Because as the case might be, there's not anyone else that's out there that's able to do it for you. You have to do the work yourself. And putting your work, putting your energy into your faith that this is the right way to go. Putting your faith in yourself that you are able to get over those fears, that you are able to transform. 5 Tz'i is here to remind us about that. And it may also come through tests of faith, because that's what Tz'i is also here to do. Are we really ready for this? Are we really up for that job? Have we got our faith in ourselves? Maybe this is the day where it's going to require a little bit more input from yourself in order to do it. From 5 Tz'i, we then go into a rather wonderful day of 6 Bats. So Bats, a day of creativity. Bats, about the weaving, about the master of creation. This is the day of the creative genius, and it's something where we might find our creativity really flowing on 6 Bats. And the number 6, of course, representing family. This is a great day to be weaving our family together. This is also a great day to bring full stability to whatever it is that you're trying to create into the world, in whatever modality that might be, whether it's writing, whether it's through visual images, however it might be. Six bats is a great day to bring that stability in, because we're not only just bringing it into the physical world, we're bringing it from the divine masculine and divine feminine realms, and so it's calling on those other areas to bring it into reality. And so if you have any creative project, then six bats is really a day to be working with it and getting the best out of it, mastering the art. From six bats, we then go into seven the end of the road. Now, you've probably heard me tell this story before about the first time that I took the journey up La Danta in El Mirador. And realizing that, like, from first reading about El Mirador to taking the journey to the top of La Danta had taken me 22 years. And that journey was very much going to the top of the pyramid, represented by the seven, the path that took me there. And it made me really realize that seven yes, it is the end of a cycle. Yes, it is the end of an era, the end of one journey. But from that vantage point where you've got to, from the end of the path, you're then able to choose your new paths, because from the top of that pyramid you see the sites of La Florida, Nakbay, Calakmul and El Tintal. You see these other pyramids out in the jungle, like they're just the tops of them peeking out, and so you can see where your next destination might be. So 7 is a great day to make choices about your path. What paths have you come to the end of? As we go through this Trecena of transformation, as we go through this Trecena of death and endings, it's like the end of the road for something. And it's like, right, okay, well, I've enjoyed that road. I've thoroughly enjoyed my exploration of that path, that journey. But now I think it's time for a change. I've come to the culmination. Where am I going to go next? And so 7 might bring a reflective day where you ask those questions, where you get presented with what you can see as your onward path, where you might choose as your next destination. From 7 we then go into another very positive day of 8 Ach. So I was talking about weaving on 6 bats. I was talking about weaving family together. And 8 Ach could be very much seen as a celebration of family, a celebration of the home. We have Ach, which represents those things. It represents harmony in the home, harmony in the community. It represents leadership in the physical world in particular. And we have it culminating with the number 8. The number 8 representing the wholeness. Now, Ach gives us the opportunity to stand up for what is right. It gives us the opportunity to engage our spinal column, to stand up straight and proud and tall and say, this is the way that it has to be done in order to bring harmony, in order to bring peace. And the number 8 can be it can be a number of ceremony, but it can also be representing wholeness. It's like drawing on all aspects of leadership. And sometimes that leadership can be authoritative as well. Sometimes, of course, we're always going to ask nicely first, but sometimes we might have to use the staff of office in order to bring that stability, in order to bring that harmony into our community, in order to bring it into our family, in our home. But as I said, this is also a great ceremonial day. So if ceremony is one of the things that you're involved in or that you're engaged in, then Ach is a great day to do ceremony, to give thanks for the harmony in your home, to bring, the blessings into your home, as it were. From 8 Ach, we're then going into 9 Ish. Now, again, a very auspicious combination. Ish being the Nawal of the feminine essence, of the Mother Earth herself. Ish meaning she-of. It is the most feminine of all of the days. It is our connection with Mother Earth. It is our connection with the shrines and the altars. It is our connection with that which sustains us, the Earth herself. And we can also see it as a connection with the magic, as it were. The magic that we carry, the sacred that is within us, the sacred which is around us. And we see it here combined with the number 9. This is a number which represents independence, but it also represents the feminine, as it represents the 9 lunations of gestation. And so we see 9 Ish as being an extremely feminine day. We could see it very much as a day to make an offering, a day to give thanks for our mothers and the women in our world and all that they do for us, and also a day of making thanks for Mother Earth and her connection to us. And so this is a really, really important day. Again, great day for ceremony, to make those offerings to Mother Earth. Or maybe if ceremony isn't your thing, again, going out and clearing up in your neighborhood, rectifying some of the damage or what has been done with Mother Earth and showing her that you care. Taking an independent stand on it, as it were, and putting your energy into it. From 9-ish, we're then going into 10 Tz'ikin. So Tz'ikin, the Nawal of vision. Tz'ikin, the Nawal of prosperity, the one who helps us to thrive. So, Tz'ikin, the one that brings the vision. Now, in this transformative time, as we face our fears, sometimes we may need a new vision. And sometimes we may not be entirely sure that we have the clarity of vision that we're really looking for. Well, the number 10 brings us the opportunity to join hands with our community, to cooperate on the vision. So 10 Tz'ikin could very much be seen as a cooperative vision. 10 Tz'ikin could be very much seen as going out and asking your friends, your family, your community for maybe a little bit of assistance, a little bit of cooperation, to share your vision with your community, to get the feedback, to see if they think that you're going in the right way, if somebody has some input that can help you in your vision as you go through this transformative period. Because this vision for community, this 10 Tz'ikin, is also something, I talk about Tz'ikin as prosperity, the prosperity that helps our community to thrive, the prosperity that helps our families to thrive, the prosperity that helps our world, our environment to thrive. And so why not go out and share your vision with the others in your community to see how we can all thrive together? From 10 Tz'ikin, we're then going into 11 Ajmak. So, again, this might be a bit of a challenging day. Ajmak being about forgiveness. Ajmak being the time when we can hold our hands up and say, yeah, I didn't kind of get that right, did I? Or maybe there's also something that you're holding on to that is stopping your transformation. Because, if we're carrying those burdens of guilt or blame or shame, then maybe we can't really go through that transformative process afforded to us by the Kame Trecena. And so, as such, 11 Ajmak gives us the opportunity to look in many different directions. That's what comes from the 11, is going all over in some maybe kind of like unknown directions from before to find out a way of forgiving. To search basically almost like to turn over a few rocks which you might have forgotten about, so that you can either ask for forgiveness, forgive yourself. From 11 Ajmak, we're then going into 12 Noch. So, here it is. We're coming towards the end of the Trecena. And what are we doing here? Well, the number 12 would be like bringing together your life experiences. And Noch is about coming up with the idea, coming up with the plan. It's like, how are we going to transform? What are we going to transform into? Where is our plan taking us? And the 12 obviously saying, right, okay, well, I've gone through all of these experiences, whether it's been in the last 9 Trecenas, or whether it's been in the last 20 Trecenas, or whether it's been in the last 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, or 50 years, however it might be. How can I bring those experiences together and use them to consolidate my plan, to help me to overcome the challenges that I face? Because Noch is the problem solver. It's the one with the good head on its shoulders that helps us to understand how to do things. And so 12 Noch can be very much looking back at your previous experiences to see how that works. So from 12 Noch, we then finally go to 13 Tijax, the ultimate day of the Kame Trecena. 13 Tijax, well, Tijax, always a good day for cutting yourself free of things, for healing, for letting yourself loose from things. Because again, we can't really properly transform until we've released the things which have been holding us back. And Tijax, the obsidian blade, comes in to do exactly that. It can be a great day for energetic healing, and particularly here is combined with the number 13. The number 13 representing the ancestors, the number 13 representing spirit. So, Tijax, I have seen people say that the two on the glyph of Tijax, the way that the glyph is seen, it could be seen as two lightning strikes, and it is the day of spiritual healing, of like using healing energies. And so this could be a great thing for 13 Tijax if you got a local energetic healer. Maybe book an appointment to help yourself cut yourself free from anything that's been ailing you. But there's also something more to that, and it's kind of like it's the assistance of the ancestors to help us to understand what we need to release. And of course, this is like, as you can understand, how this would be the ultimate day of the Kame Trecena, working with the ancestors to transform. And here we are healing through ancestral power on the 13 Tijax day. And so, what might you still be holding on to? What do you need to leave behind in this Kame Trecena? It's also kind of like if we imagine Tijax as being our blade that we've been using to kind of like cut through our fears, here that blade is being guided by the ancestors as well. So it's a very, very powerful day to, as I say, it might be, well, I'm going to use the words, rid yourself of whatever's been holding you back, to cut away any restrictions, to cut away your fears with the guidance of the ancestors, so that you can transform into the next Trecena and be reborn in the Trecena of Kame, which I'll be talking about in 13 days' time. Thank you.